Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy Dom, messy hair, just got out of my job. We're going to see Evil Dead Burn today. So, you guys will be getting our immediate reaction out of MJR and our full on spoiler review when we get home. So, stay tuned and enjoy. Yeah, you heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. We just got back from the MJR theater watching Evil Dead Burn, which, by the way, major success, solid film. Um, yes, this is your typical Evil Dead movie. It does have comedy and horror, but it doesn't joke around. It gets right to the point, as a matter of fact. And I was actually kind of jaw dropped by that, taken by surprise with how quick it got jumped to the point. Um, so we follow obviously a story of Alice, who ends up becoming a widow after Jessica, the Deadite from Rise, kills the husband in a car accident, and her head gets like all decapitated and whatnot. Look at, I gotta get the foam flashlight out of my eyes for a second. And then she does incantation, burns up the car. Yeah, burns up the car. And then we follow Alice, and all of them have a awkward funeral near a construction site, and you could tell immediately the family dynamic is off. Joseph and Thea might be the only two normal ones that actually care about Alice, and you actually feel really bad for Alice because you see the amount of abuse throughout the movie that she was put through and all her injuries from her husband. It was brutal. So if you're a victim of domestic violence, that is something I will warn you about. It is really, it dives deep with that. But Joseph and Thea were really cool characters. Oh, damn. My AC wanted to scare the crap out of me over there. But Thea ended up going first, obviously, with the headrest through her head, and then a dishwasher lid, courtesy of Joseph. And Joseph, poor dude, that was his girlfriend. And that was another thing, too. I think the husband, got jealous of Joseph and Alice's relationship, because they did, almost kind of kiss in the beginning of the movie. But it wasn't, you could tell that Thea and Joseph actually cared for the character. Again, I hear stuff over here, okay? We got Deadites following me now. I'm just kidding, just joking. But the dad, he was the standout Deadite. Edgar, the dude literally blew out his brain as a Deadite, blew a piece of his jaw and the back of his head to intimidate the family. Now, and that's another thing too, like I think I mentioned that you could tell the family dynamic was off. This guy was full of rage the entire movie. The moment we seen him, even before he got possessed. And him and his wife do a make-out session while he's possessed, and you could see the flesh from his jaw as he's kissing her and shit. Yeah, that was pretty brutal. These Deadites in here were freaky as hell, without a doubt. I will say that the only thing that did throw me off was the pacing of the movie. Like I said, I'm glad that they jumped right to the point, but the pacing did feel a little off to me, only because I was so invested in Alice's story. I was invested in Joseph and Thea. And obviously, with these movies, we know that the majority of the characters are going to pass away. We know they're going to die, turn into Deadites, whatever. Again, I keep hearing noises. Jeez, dude. But with Evil Dead Rise and Evil Dead 2013, we at least got an establishment of the characters, and I feel like the only one we really got established to in this was Alice. And I was actually intrigued with Joseph and Thea's character as well, but we didn't get obviously further. They jumped right to the point, and I do admire them for making that change. It's not really a complaint. It's more of like, oh damn, they really got to the point. I wish I could have seen maybe a little bit more with the characters, but other than that, yeah, it was a solid movie. Alice ended up surviving, obviously. She was the heroine, the female final boss of the horror movie, and she ended up killing her Deadite husband, who was like a zombified version. She ended up squishing his head and cutting him up with a saw. And I'll say the grandma was the freaking comedy relief of the movie. There's a scene where Thea is jumping on, I think, either Joseph or Alice, And she's like, I told you she was a thief. Yeah, she was racist as hell. I ain't gonna lie to you. She had it out for Thea. But all of the actors and actresses in this film did wonderful. Everything was done. The cinematography, like I said, was amazing. Chef's kiss. Pretty much all the Evil Dead movies have great cinematography. Let's talk about the end credits, though. We got to talk about those end credits. There's two of them. Not the one with Polly, the grandma. That was more the comedy version. But man, we had a jaw-dropping reveal. Ellie came back. Ellie, of course, she was from Rise, and I always loved Alyssa Sutherland's performance in that. Probably the best in the entire franchise. Her performance was scarily good and jaw-dropping, and when I seen her, man, my entire theater clapped and gasped. Kid you not. So yeah, Evil Dead Burn was a success. I would give it probably an 8.5 out of 10. And as a major horror fan, I'm going to be collecting it on physical media. I know a lot of people don't do that, but I'm still going to be doing that. But hopefully you guys enjoy this review. I'm trying to see if there's anybody over there. I'm talking all over you. But anyways, Evil Dead Burn was a success. Go check it out for yourselves. And yeah, let me know what you guys think down below, what you thought of it when you see it. And I can't wait to see what's next. And I know they're doing Evil Dead Wrath. But I can't wait to see what's next. Maybe they might be doing a different story. I think Ellie could possibly be joining that as well in a different form. Because they did bring back, I think, Cheryl from like Ash vs. Evil Dead. And, oh, that's another thing though. Rise is still my favorite. I'm going to be doing a ranking video of the Evil Dead franchise, pretty much with every franchise that I love growing up with. But Rise is still my favorite. I'm gonna figure out by the time I make the ranking video where to place Burn, but Rise is still overall better than Burn. But Burn, solid entry. Fantastic job, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Go check it out.